Hey, 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 this is Jennifer Allwood, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, where we talk about creating a beautiful home and building a creative business. Hey friends, today's podcast is sponsored by Antique Farmhouse, my source for farmhouse decor online. Go visit antiquefarmhouse.com to sign up for their daily decor deals, but I will forewarn you, they're addicting. You can get furniture, decor, art products up to 80% off retail. Again, go find them at antiquefarmhouse.com. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I am super excited to have you guys here with me today, and this is going to be fun. We are doing something totally different to kick off 2018. I wanted to bring you guys just something fun to start the new year off with, and just to kind of kick it up a notch and do something different, and also to maybe kind of encourage some of you who are in the painting industry, kind of give you a little bit of a vision of where we kind of think some of the painting industry is heading for the year 2018. And so I wanted to bring on a bunch of talented painters who literally are so much more talented than what I am. And so we've got a tag team here today, or you can call this a round robin, you can call this a hot mess, you can call it whatever you want to. I am super excited about this, okay? Let me just say that. So I've got with me today on this podcast 7 different women who are, well, 8 if we include the tag team that we have, but they're all different businesses that are around the United States. They're not all from, the same area. All women who are doing different things in the painting industry. Some are doing more cabinets, some are doing more furniture, some are doing more faux finishing. But we're going to talk to all 7 of these groups, and we're going to find out from them kind of what they think is going to be happening in the next year in the painting industry. And these are literally some of the most talented painters in the nation, you guys. And I know kind of what I love in the painting world right now, and I know where my painting taste is at in terms of colors and textures. But then I see other companies like Benjamin Moore come out with their color of the year for 2018, and it's Caliente, which is a tomato color. And I think, gosh, I just do not see that being really hot in Kansas City. And I know that Sherwin-Williams' color of 2018 is Oceanside, which is a really nice, yummy teal, and that's lovely. And but sometimes I think in different parts of the United States, trends hit us at different times. And I also think that sometimes the painting companies release their colors of the year, and that it's often we're a little bit behind on kind of getting to where we're actually seeing them utilized in people's homes. So that's why I wanted to bring on the professionals, literally the people that are in the thick of it, the super talented painters that I personally know who have either all been in my coaching group, or they've been an instructor for me in Paint Finish of the Month, or they're about to be. And we're going to get the nitty gritty from them. And so here with me on the call today is Kari Caldwell from Kari Caldwell Studios. I've got Kendra Benge and her cousin Ashley Bickford, who own a fabulous finish, faux and decorative finishes in Texas. I've got Katie Clemente. I've got Dion Woods, Amy Murray, Quita Allen, and Jennifer Ferguson. And we're going to talk to each of them individually, which is going to be super duper fun. You can also go to www.themagicbrushinc.com/painttrends after you're done listening to this podcast. And we've put together a really cute PDF for you. If you want, you can download that, and you'll get each of the trends from each of these different painting professionals in that PDF form. And these instructors have all offered to give you one of their painting videos for free. So go download that as soon as you get done listening, and we are going to get started. So first up, because somebody has to be first up, I'm talking to Kari Caldwell today, and I have known Kari in the industry for a minute or so. Kari, honey, are you here?
Hey, it's Kari.
Hey. Kari, do you ever feel like we're the grandmothers in the painting industry?
Yeah, I feel like I've been around a long time. And these girls they're sprouting up, and they're doing amazing things. And I have to say, you are definitely the pioneer of us changing this whole platform of how we even do decorative painting. So thank you very much, Miss Jennifer.
You are
awesome.
You're sweet. You're one of my favorite people on the planet. So, Kari, can we start with you just by telling people the name of your business and where your business is located at? Because I think that's super important. I know you live in Paradise, but I want you to tell everybody else where you live.
Yes, I'm Kari Caldwell. I'm Kari Caldwell Studios, and I am in a lovely little beach town called Encinitas, just 30 miles north of San Diego. And I do agree, it is paradise. I do get to travel the world, and every time I come home, I am so thankful.
Yeah, it's fun to watch you on social media, but I also feel this little twinge of jealousy on occasion. I'm like, that girl with her gypsy spirit is able to just travel into all these incredible places to paint. And it's so fun to get to watch you to do that. And so, will you tell our listeners what it is that you mostly paint? Like, do you do mostly furniture? Do you do mostly cabinets, walls? Are you kind of even Steven right now? Or what did you find in 2017 you were doing the most of?
I was certainly doing a lot of changing of cabinetry for sure. I'm pretty fortunate because I get to steer myself into the projects that I like to do most. So the ones that make me the happiest, and I get to work with incredible designers who push me, who help me grow as a finisher. So tons and tons of cabinetry, a lot of color consultations, and furniture. I haven't really, I don't do much applied finishes to the wall, but fireplaces, lots of plasters.
Okay, awesome. And when you're talking cabinets, Kari, did you notice in the last year, is it mostly people who have existing cabinets that, aren't quite so beautiful that they're asking you to come in and change? Or was it more new construction and they're asking you to paint them? Or when you're talking cabinets, are you changing the old stuff or are you doing stuff brand new from scratch?
So I get to, once again, I get the pleasure of doing both because I have a lot of designers who
Very
will come
cool.
in and get some custom made things. So they'll actually make extra bits in the kitchen so then I can finish them more interestingly. So I get it all, and I like to change the hardware. Like if I go in for an old client and they have their little knobs, I like to make sure we get a big change. So I like to change the positioning of the knobs and handles and things like that. So definitely still going in and recoloring wood tones that just aren't suiting the home anymore.
Yeah. To hear you talk about switching handle position makes me twitch a little on the inside, like nearly breaking out in hives, because that's the kind of crap that I avoided. Like the plague, I'm like, no, we're not switching handle placement. Not at all. I'm not filling holes. So
yeah, well, so guess that's the other thing that is the beauty, the being at your the director of your universe, meaning
yes.
I get to hire out people who do that because I'm certainly not going to do that. It's not, I have big vision, but when it comes to work like that, no, thank you.
Yeah, I totally get it. So tell us what colors you think are going to be super hot then for cabinets in 2018. And if you just want to give broad generalizations, Kari, like I think creams or grays or whatever, that's fine. Or if you have particular colors that you're going to see, you think a ton of next year, I'd love to hear that too.
Well, I definitely think light tones are still going to be, and I think people might be able to push the envelope a little with maybe even throwing some sort of flesh tones out there or blush tones. I know that sounds odd, and it will be for the most trending people who have the have the guts to do that. I think blues are going to be really, and I'm doing blues, and I think in my area, gray is going to stay in, or a nice simple white. It's always fresh. Okay. So nothing too distressed anymore. A lot of people are getting away from that distressed look.
Yeah. Area. So the fact that you're saying like blush and flesh tones is cracking me up, because I always avoid the blush and the flesh tones, but you're saying that you actually are seeing that maybe coming on some cabinets. So that's super cool. So what painting techniques do you are you ending 2017, having seen a lot of that you think are going to be really popular in 2018? Like, are you still glazing cabinets, Kari, or do you think it's just going to be straight paint on the cabinets, not a lot of flash and finishes, or where are you kind of seeing for the techniques that are going to be popular?
So for me, I'm seeing more of a trend of like that juxtapose, like taking an old piece but making it cleaner, fresher, freshening up the hardware, more contemporary hardware, a cleaner finish with an old body. You know what I mean?
A cleaner finish with an old body. That's awesome. I know. That's a great analogy. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, so I definitely seen it clean in my area.
Clean in your area. Okay, last question. What are you so glad that no one is asking you for anymore? Like, what are you so glad is out or is over? I know for me, when people quit asking us for red walls, I was like, yes. And when people quit asking for like heavy faux finishing texture, I'm like, thank you, Lord. I've textured as many walls as I ever want to. So what are you glad that is over?
Oh, well, I definitely, and I still have to go out and help solve this problem. The Tuscan look. I
Yeah.
am so glad. If somebody ever asked me to paint grapes again in my life, I think I would throw up. And just that heavy, like, feeling, because being in California, we don't have long, long, cold winters. And I understand
Yes.
that warm look on the wall really helps for those snowy areas. But in California today, it's almost 75. And I just can't live in that cave. So
Yeah.
I just feel very blessed that I get to help change those interiors that are definitely over Tuscan. And
Yeah.
you do have to take into account the architecture of the home.
Sure.
And so it's always that. But, we have great ways. I work with a great design team, and we have great ways of twisting that Tuscan look into a more updated look. So Tuscan for me.
That is awesome.
Now, I'm so happy never to do that again.
That is awesome. Kari, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being
so
here.
Sweet.
And
all right.
Bless you, girlfriend. And so, remember when you guys are done listening here to the podcast to go to themagicbrushinc.com/paint trends. And I'd love to maybe see if I can get Kari to expand on how to get rid of some of the Tuscan looks, or maybe we just need to even have Kari in for her own podcast with me, just her and I, because living in Kansas City, where we did the Tuscan wall finishes, the really heavy texture on the walls for so many years, before I shut down my painting company this summer, we were being asked to change that all the time. And so I actually think that could be a great podcast topic, how to get rid of faux when you're done with the faux. So stay tuned for that. If that's something you're interested in, send us over an email to podcast@themagicbrushinc.com, and I'll get Kari booked on some of her secrets. So that'll be super fun. So next up, we're going to talk to a tag team duo who I just love so much. We're talking with Kendra Benj and her cousin Ashley Bickford. And these two girls are just kicking it down in Texas. Hello, ladies.
Hey, how are you?
I'm so good, and I just love you girls so much. You just you do such an amazing job. It's so much fun watching you guys on social media. Every time I look at your pictures, though, especially Ashley, when you're up there painting, I just feel like I need to go to the chiropractor on your behalf because you do so many ceilings and things, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So many. We do.
We do. They're looking at each other. I wish you guys could see them right now. They're so stinking cute. So they're looking at each other. Really cute. But in all seriousness, how do your necks hold up to that? Well, real quick, let's back up. Do you guys each want to introduce yourselves and the name of your business and exactly where you're at in Texas?
Sure. Okay, I'm Ashley, and our business is A Fabulous Finish, and we're just north of Houston, but we work in Houston and Austin and Dallas and all over the place, really. So
yeah, because Texas is not that big, so
Yeah,
exactly. I know, Jennifer, every time for over the years you've texted me and said, are you close to da-da-da-da? There's a job here. And I'm like, Jennifer, that's like 5 hours away. But
I know. I'm so bad with geography. Okay, here's a little side note. So I was a relatively smart girl, but geography, not so much. And here's part of the problem. Every way I face feels like north to me. And so, it just feels like I can't really get a good idea of context of where things are at. So I know over the years, people would message me and be like, I'm in Texas, in Lubbock, and need a painter. And I'm like, oh, maybe my friends Kendra and Ashley are close. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yes,
we really do.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me grace. So what are you guys, what are you painting the most of right now? And I follow you guys and your shenanigans on social media. So I know you're painting a ton of ceilings, but what are you doing? And not just maybe what you're posting the pictures of, but what do you find you're painting most of in the world right now?
Well, for us, I guess everything's bigger in Texas, so we're still painting everything. I mean, we're mostly doing ceilings and powder baths, lots of cabinetry, lots of islands.
I would say cabinets and ceilings are probably our biggest.
Okay.
But, cabinets are pretty easy because you can just go, if it's a cabinet job where we're re-base coating, we'll have our painters go in, base coat those, and we'll come in and glaze them, or mainly inking. Really not a whole lot of glazing these days, more along the lines of inking.
And you call inking just the glaze right in the cracks, right?
Right in the cracks. And really clean lines.
Just the details.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. And you girls still do a ton of faux finishing, don't you? On the walls.
Yes, we do.
And
do a ton.
Okay, and so
But
that's
the trends have changed. Like we're doing lots of lighter tones and lighter plasters, some shimmery type things, and lots of silvers. I mean, it's definitely changed, and it's definitely different.
Yeah.
okay.
So what we were doing even a couple years ago.
Gotcha. Okay, so good to know that faux is still alive and well in Texas, and there's still people fauxing in Kansas City also, but I agree that the colors and the texture have totally changed. And so what colors are you girls seeing that are hot for 2018 as we're, ending one year and starting the next? What have you found most people are requesting?
Well, I know that we see a lot of the lighter tones still. We are liking the light grays and the creams and things like that. Nothing too yellow, but they are highlighting everything with the big brass knobs, or there is a lot of the lighting is going to antique golds and things. So we will mix some of that into with our light blue gray finishes, mix some gold, maybe hiding underneath a plaster, things like that. So or we do a lot of oversized patterns on, say, powder bathroom walls. We may do that in a really champagne-y gold color. So stuff like that.
And
that's good to know.
We're seeing jewel tones, like rich, deep jewel tones. So, but you would put that like in a powder bathroom or an accent color, or even on a little island or something. So
yeah, we try not to do faux everywhere, like Kari was talking about, and back then everybody did Tuscan, and it was
absolutely
on every wall. We would do
every wall, girl.
Yeah.
Every wall. Every wall in my house. I just had to, before we could sell it, I had to get rid of the faux.
Yeah. We did many homes in Texas where we were in there for months doing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so
powder bath ceilings and cabinet.
It's funny because in the last couple of months, I've felt a little bit like a liar, just being totally, on the up and up here, because I can remember 10 years ago when people would be like, so what do we do, Jennifer, in a few years when we want to get rid of the faux? How hard is it going to be? And I'm like, oh, it won't be that hard. Just paint over it. You can have somebody come in and skim coat over it to make the walls, flat again. And now here I am having to get rid of my own faux. And I'm like, oh, this is a pain. Right?
I know.
I'm like, I was all telling them, oh, it won't be a big deal. And here I am, like, cussing myself out. Why did I text her this 10 years ago?
We're in the same boat.
Yeah, I totally get that. So you said in terms of techniques, you're still doing a lot of powder baths are really popular. Your ceilings are really popular. And then inking your cabinets. And so what are you so glad that nobody is asking for anymore? Or what techniques were you just like, I am so happy that we will never, ever have to do that again?
I saw this question come through, and immediately I thought of like the breakaway Tuscan brick with the ivy and the grape. I am so
we're over that.
So done with that.
I did that in my first house. In fact, I saw that finish. I think this was like right about the time when Google was being invented. Thank you, Jesus, for Google. Just first of all, little shout out to JC there. And so literally, I think it was like 17 years ago when I started my painting company, or 18 years ago maybe, that I saw like a picture of that broken brick online. And that's one of the main reasons I went to a painting school for the first time, because I wanted that in my house so bad. Like I just thought, oh my gosh, I've got to have that.
Wow.
And so, and we did that probably in Kansas City for a good 10 years. And so, so I get it.
Here in Texas. Yeah. And that's really hard to paint over.
Because you can still see the brick under it, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have people asking you to get rid of faux yet, or not quite? Are you guys not there yet?
We've gone in and changed a couple of colors. So we've turned them in, we've lightened them up and done things like that. But
we've had some of the same repeat clients for the past 16 years.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. And so when they, and a lot of our clients have the money to be able to just say, I want it now. This is what I want. And I'm not worried or concerned about changing it later. Yeah. So because they have the finances to be able to change it. So they're just happy as a lark. If that's what they want, we do it, we give it to them, and then they just call us back later and say, I'm ready to change.
That's awesome. Yeah. Kendra, I know you guys are working on bidding a huge project down in your neck of the woods. I don't know how much liberty you have to speak about it, but for people who are wondering, gosh, is faux finishing still lucrative? Is painting still lucrative? Can we really make much money on this? You guys would absolutely say yes. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we have been working on a $1.3 million glazing bid.
Okay, so I want you to say that one more time, because somebody on this podcast, I'm sure, just heard that you're working in a $1.3 million house, and that's not the case.
No.
It's a $1.3 million bid for painting.
Painting.
For
yes.
for the glazing
Yes.
part.
For glazing.
That is crazy pants.
Yes.
That is crazy.
We have not had the bid accepted yet. We are praying that we do, but if not, it was fun. It was, fun to and honored. We were honored to be able to just bid it.
Yeah.
But that really helped to solidify with Ashley and I to know that faux finishing is not dead.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
not any crazy finish or anything. It's just a real pretty light glaze.
Yeah.
Finish.
So just lots of it.
All right. Well, we're rooting for you and hoping that you get that estimate. And I kind of feel like we should maybe have you girls on the podcast sometime here in the spring, where we just talk about how you guys attract such clients with huge budgets. Because that's one thing I have always looked at the two of you girls and thought, my goodness, they're working in some crazy houses that are big and beautiful. And so I'd love to chat with you girls more about that later on. We'll have you back in the spring, and maybe you can encourage some of our listeners. Is that cool?
Yes, that would be awesome.
All right, girls. Thank you so much. They're so fun. You guys got to go check them out on social media as well. And so we'll have them back later, because they do just attract some really well-paying clientele. And, for all of us that are in business, the whole reason you're in business is to make money. And so those are exactly the types of clients that you want to get. And they have done a really great job of attracting them. So next up is one of my very new favorite painters, and her name is Katie Clemente, except it's not Katie Clemente, because I say her last name wrong every single time. Katie, do you love me anyway?
I still love you. It's okay. Everybody says it wrong, so you're just in your own little club there.
I know. Will you pronounce it correct for the thousands of people that are going to be listening to this podcast, who are going to wonder, how does Jennifer not understand how to pronounce her last name? Well, it's the same thing as I don't understand where Kendra and Ashley live. I just some details.
Well, now you're making me nervous.
Don't be.
Thousands of people. Maybe I'll say it wrong.
Okay, just 10, Katie. Just 10 are listening.
It's all right. Just 12 people. It's Katie Clemente, and I'm from Charleston, and I own a Katie Clemente studio.
Okay.
So you already knew that. So.
Katie Clemente. Like, I need to say it like 10,000 times over and over in my mind. And so Katie's going to be a guest instructor in my Paint Finish of the Month group coming up. And Katie, you have kind of rocked the scene of the furniture painting world in a hard fashion in the last year or so. And I have just been watching you, grinning ear to ear, and have the honor of, having you in my inner circle group, and just ordered a bunch of your Christmas ornaments from you, and was so excited just about the level of creativity that you're bringing to the industry. And so we're so glad that you're here.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm just excited that people actually like my stuff, because for a while there, everyone was like, what is this girl painting? This is not white. And everybody kind of freaked out for a little bit. But
yeah, so you're Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you keep going, girl.
Okay. For those who don't know me, I don't paint white. That's kind of my thing. I will paint any color under the rainbow. But lately, this last year, I've basically told people I'm not going to paint your kitchen cabinets unless they're a bold color. I'm not going to paint your furniture if it's gray or white, unless they want like a really textured finish, and then sometimes I'll do it. I've had people, they want hot pink cabinets. They want cobalt blue furniture, bright orange bookcases. And so I'm definitely willing to do anything crazy, and I'm just hoping that it continues. I think that color is going to take a huge, I don't know, it's going to take an advantage over just like white. I think white and gray in my area is just kind of out for right now.
Katie, I am so right with you, sister. We're like spirit animals in that way, because Jason and I were talking about our new house, and like, okay, I know the trend is white, but I just can't do white. Like, I feel like I have an allergic reaction to white, and I know that it's so trendy, but I am all about the bold colors also. And we talked about like a cobalt blue island and just throwing in some punches of color. So I love that that's what you're doing. And you're in Charleston, right? Is that what you said?
I am, but when you get your new house, I'll be in Kansas City. Well, we'll just plan that.
Hey, girl, let's put that on the calendar. That's awesome. And so you've already kind of answered that question in terms of what colors you think are going to be hot for 2018. Well, actually, I know those are the colors you like, Katie, but what do you see in Charleston, people have been asking for as we end 2017, and what do you think they're going to be asking for more of in 2018?
Yeah, so personally, I would love the cold colors, good Lord, the bold colors,
Yes.
but in Charleston, there still is a lot of white. There always is going to be, no matter what your location is. But we're kind of fading from like the antique white distressed, and people are doing more of the, I call them my coastal finishes. If anybody goes to my page, you'll see I have a lot of layered blues. They're heavily distressed, and it just, if you look at a piece, it looks like it's been sitting out on somebody's beach house front porch, and it's just been eaten away by all of the by the sand and the salt, and it's really awesome. I think that, you know, when you live in a coastal town, you have a little bit more creative folk, a little bit more of people who are, I don't know, they just feel freer to me, and they don't really have limits on certain things. So I just love when they're like, all right, give me something that looks like it's sat out here for 20 years. And I'm like, oh, I'm all over it.
And you've totally nailed that look. Katie, did you know that my brother is in Beaufort, South Carolina? Did you know that?
Yeah, you told me you had family down there. I didn't know.
Yes. And that's like an hour from you, right?
I think so, yeah.
I know. Well, and I need to go visit him, and therefore I need to visit you.
I know. And then I have family out in South Dakota, and so I'm just going to drive through Kansas City because I have a couple clients who are like, oh my gosh, I found you through Jennifer Allwood, but I wish that you lived in Kansas City. So they want to hire me, and I said, well, you can just hire me the same week that I'm going out there, and then I have a little extra spending money, you know, to spend on, you know, in the farm. Because my mom says that's all that's out here out there.
That's awesome. So real quick then, before I let you go, tell me what cabinet colors, like, so when you're doing furniture, Katie, let me ask this, do you stick mostly to furniture, or do you get some cabinet requests? Because you did do a crazy bold, like hot pink or fuchsia on somebody's kitchen.
Yes, it was like a hot pink, magenta, and it was a high lacquer, and I just well, not high lacquer, it was like a medium lacquer. Yeah. She's like, I don't want it super glossy, and I was like, okay. So I went in and kind of redid her whole house. She's like, I want it to feel like I'm in a nightclub, and she said, but without it being too weird. And I was like, okay.
Don't you love working with clients like that? Like, they're so brave, but then also trying to figure out exactly what they want. Like, that's a really good way for her to describe it, actually. I want it to be like a nightclub and not too weird.
Yeah, so we did hot pink cabinets, but I actually, it's bad. I know that everybody who's listening is going to be like, oh my God, that's a terrible business idea. I turn down at least one cabinet job every week just because, like, I don't get too many requests because people know I'm going to say no anyways, but they always want me to paint white or gray, and I don't do it. So I kind of, it's not about the money. To me, it's all about being creative and helping other people find their creativity. So I stick to furniture. Unless somebody wants to hire me, and I'll definitely come in there and do like bright yellow cabinets or something.
Katie, here's what I love about you so much. You have stayed so true to you, and I think that's why you're doing so well and taking, you know, the furniture industry by storm, is because you're not doing what other people are asking you to do. You're doing what you really love, and I just love watching you do that. And so, tell us what techniques you are totally over right now. Obviously, it's you know, the whites and the grays, but are there techniques that you're so glad nobody's doing on furniture anymore?
No, I know this sounds terrible, but I love all the techniques that everybody was mentioning, but I just like to mix them up with bold colors. So technique-wise, I absolutely adore every single technique. I'll just put my own colors in there. And then, you know, just like somebody had said, like, what was it, like a distressed brick, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So sorry, that sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm moving studios today, so I'm
You're all good, girl.
I'm living in chaos today. But no, the distressed brick, I would just, you know, bump that up. Maybe do like a bold color or do like a bright white, and then do a giant canvas and make it industrial. But any finish that you give me, if somebody's like, okay, well, I don't like the Tuscan wall, and I'll say, okay, well, I'll go in there and make it a little bit more industrial or a colorful wall. And so the techniques, they stay the same. The colors are just changing. One thing I think is going to be huge, or at least I'm hoping, in 2018 is lacquered furniture in bold colors, and that's taken off huge in Charleston because we have, especially with the people who have money, and I don't have money, so I can't have this nice stuff in my house. But
you know, it's funny that you say that, Katie, because I used to say that about myself. I used to say, I can't afford me. I get it when people are like, that's out of my price range because I can't afford me.
Yeah. And then I feel guilty keeping stuff. I'm like, oh, should I really keep this credenza? And I'm like, yeah. And like one side of me is like, yeah, keep it. It's gorgeous. You want it and you need it in your life. And then the other side of me is like, yeah, but we kind of need electricity. So
right.
Probably should sell it.
Well, Katie, we're so glad. Go ahead.
I'm hoping the lacquer takes off, but yeah, I'll stop talking.
No, you're fine. And you and I were messaging back and forth about Kayla Payne and her lacquered finishes. And Kayla's,
isn't she wonderful?
Yeah, Kayla's going to be an instructor in the Paint Finish of the Month group as well for that exact reason, because I know lacquered finishes are really going to be hot next year. And so I just appreciate you and appreciate your just you being you. I appreciate so much the talent. I mean, like literally, you are so talented. And so thank you so much for being here, girl. We appreciate you, Katie.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
All right, have fun moving, girl. All right, so
bye.
That was Katie, and oh gosh, and it's not Katie Clemente. It's Katie. I know, I'm trying to pronunciate it. Okay, let me tell you this little story. One time, my 16-year-old will never listen to this podcast, so I'm good to share this story with you. And up next, by the way, we have Dion Woods, whose name I can pronounce really easy. So when Noah, our oldest, who's turning 16, was little and Michael Phelps was in the Olympics, he kept saying his name was Michael Phillips. And this was, a good decade ago. And we would tell him, Noah, it's Michael Phelps. And he would just say Michael Phillips. And we literally would practice his lip structure and trying to get him to say the word correctly. And he just could not. And that's how I feel about Katie's name. I just cannot say it correctly. So, Katie, we love you. You're so talented and so glad you're doing what you're doing. And so, up next is Dion Woods, whose name I can pronounce really easy. And Dion is the owner of the Turquoise Iris. And you would have to, not follow any painters and furniture painters at all if you don't know who Dion is. My guess is you don't follow very many furniture people. So, Dion, honey, how are you?
Hi, Jen. Good to be here today, and thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I love and adore your style and your technique and all you do in the painting industry. I met Dion. Oh, Dion, how long ago did we meet? Was it almost 4 years ago when I did my first furniture painting webinar?
Yes.
Yes.
It was your very first one where you had me and we were talking about shipping furniture is what you were asking me about.
We were talking about that, and I will never forget that webinar because I ended up having over 400 people register for that, and that was when I first realized that this online business thing was going to take off, and I remember crying because I was like, oh my gosh, and I had messaged Dion and said, okay, look, I found you on Pinterest, and I'll never forget the day I found you on Pinterest because I'm looking at these peacock-looking finishes, and I'm like, who the heck is painting this stuff so magnificently? And it was you, and I said, so you and I contacted you, and I knew you were one of the only people that at that time was shipping furniture. And when I'm saying shipping furniture, you're shipping, you had people asking for bids on shipping from Italy and stuff. Am I right?
Yes. Italy and Paris. Yes.
Yes. And so, which is just crazy, and what an honor for you, and so amazing. And so tell people where the Turquoise Iris is located and what you're currently painting the most of.
Well, just to elaborate just a smidge on that, Jennifer, when you contacted me, you scared me to death, and I did not answer your email for a week.
I'm so sorry that I'm scary.
No, you're the least scary person, but when you said the word webinar 4 years ago, I'm clueless, and I know you were just on the verge of just getting deep into that, and so you terrified me. But a week later, girl, you came back at me and you said, hey, I'm still here.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm so glad I was persistent.
Yes, you were persistent. And I was like, fine, I have to do this. And what an honor. I learned so much that day.
We both did, girl.
Yes, it taught me so much. But I tell you what, after listening to Katie, I'm getting ready to actually interview her today, too, in my business coaching group.
Yeah.
She and I, we're soul sisters with all this color.
Yes, you are.
As much as this chippy white and this farmhouse has come in with the Joanna Gaines movement, I mean, it's awesome. And I love white woodwork.
Yeah.
It is stunning. But I got to have it with some color on the walls.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I got to put my teal next to it. And so what I see is even more teal, which just gets my heart thumping. You know? I mean,
yes.
I'm seeing the deep velvet teals and your emeralds. And of course, it's paired back with your soft blush. Yes. And like she said, flesh, but I don't like the flesh word, so I can't really say that word.
Yeah.
Blush or rose, I'm happy to say, goes so well with your emeralds and your teals. So,
yes.
I mean, that I love. And so, of course, I'm going to keep painting more of it. I mean, I've never really gone away from color.
Yeah, and blue is kind of your thing. Am I right?
It's always my blue thing. Any shade.
Yeah.
Any shade. I like to wear it every day. I like to have it on, and blue complements so many other colors. Of course, it looks good with the gray and the white.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just one of those. I've never really not done color, so I tried.
Yeah.
I really tried hard to not.
And it's so hard as an artist to do things that you just aren't feeling when people request it. You know what I mean? And so, I get it. Jason and I, my husband, Mr. Magic, sorry. When I say his name, then people are like, who's she talking about? Is that her boyfriend? Mr. Magic, if he's listening. We have been joking because everything we've been buying lately has been cobalt blue. And I'm seeing this theme, like just in our, we bought our kids a sweatshirt one day for Noah, and it was a cobalt blue. And we bought me a piece of jewelry in the Cayman Islands in October for our anniversary, and it was cobalt blue. And now I'm like looking at crushed velvet sofas that are cobalt blue. Amy Murray, who's going to be next here on this call, and I are talking about having her paint me a cobalt blue desk. And so I'm on this cobalt blue thing, and I don't know if there's any like symbolism to color. I don't really get into a lot of that woo-woo stuff, but I do think that blue is so hot right now. And but I've always been a blue lover, and I know you have too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it gives a lot of energy, but it's also calming at the exact same time. And teal has just always been one of those colors. Even when I was a little bitty girl, I always wore teal, like in your class pictures or something. It just resonates inside of me. It just gives me energy, but also it's calming to me too. And what I'm excited about I've noticed more is your iridescents and like metallics that I'm going to start using even more so.
Yeah, tell us.
My furniture, a lot of, because I've been doing a lot of kind of your sunsets or your sunrise or whatever you want to call it. And when you add a little bit of gold, any kind of metallic, I really see that going forward. And that kind of pulls like Kari was talking about, your more modern looks and sleek. So, you pair something like that with just some clean gold legs.
Yes.
But I also have such eclectic taste that I don't really feel like my style is really ever going to go out of style, or even if it does, I'm still going to keep painting it because that's where my heart is. So I can take a really clean, like even just like a lucite chair and pair it with this beat up chunky 100-year-old table next to it. That's the kind of pairing that I love. That's the kind of pairing that I prefer. So that's really what I see going forward. On the walls, your wallpapers. I mean, I keep seeing
girl, I'm obsessed with some wallpapers right now. I mean, just literally obsessed. But I think it's really fascinating that a couple of you now have mentioned gold, and because the girls in Texas did, and Kari did, and now you did, and I'm like, because we're not seeing a lot of gold on light fixtures and things yet. But it sounds like that's maybe what's going to be heading this direction.
I think that's where it's going, Jennifer. But I'm in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I ship, and that's what I do more of anything. And so I really don't sell a whole lot locally. I've never put my furniture in like a booth.
Yes, I know you haven't.
I've never sold at a craft fair. All I've ever done for 7 years is ship my furniture. So the last piece I shipped went to New York City right off of Central.
Love it. I love it.
I'm going to Florida, and I shipped one to Michigan and Wisconsin. And so that's not necessarily what my area is. Here in Oklahoma, we are hard into that gray and white.
Yes, we are in Kansas City too.
We're not too far from each other, so we're on the same path.
Yeah. So tell us what has finally have people quit asking you for, and you're so glad. Like, what trend is over? I'd love to hear it.
For me, finally, I think people understand that I don't do white glossy.
Yeah.
Here's why: I stink at it.
I can't imagine, Dion,
I stink at it because I don't like to be perfect. I don't like to try. I'm just a little bit, I'm not really a messy painter, but I'm more of a lazy painter, and and my heart's not in it.
Yeah, I get that.
Glossy, and it doesn't do anything for me. Put it on the woodwork, but don't make me put it on the furniture. Please don't ask me. So I have recently turned down 3 different jobs that have asked me, and they're so nice about it. I just want you to do real simple white gloss.
Yeah. And you're like, can't do her.
That's not simple to me.
I know. Well, Dion, thank you so much for being here. And again, when we're done here on the podcast, I want you guys to go to themagicbrushinc.com/paint trends. And Dion, as well as all these other fabulous people, will have a video for you, and we'll give you some more about where you can find each of them online. And Dion, you're at the Turquoise Iris, so they'll be able to look you up there. And
Yes,
thanks for being here, girl. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I always appreciate you, Jennifer.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
All right, so much talent on this call. It just makes my heart so stinking happy to talk to each of these women. And so up next, I have Amy Murray for you. And Amy owns Amy Murray Designs. Hello, Miss Amy.
Hey there.
How are you? Well, I'm doing fantabulous. How are you, sister?
I am good.
Awesome. Let me see if I can adjust your volume here just a little bit. Hopefully everybody can hear you okay. I'm just going to turn that up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Will you tell... It is a little bit better. Will you tell people where you're located, Amy, and a little bit about your business?
Yeah, sure. I am in southwestern Pennsylvania. So I am, hang on one second. I'm going to try to adjust this volume. How about
all right, perfect, because you're a little bit faint, and I don't want anybody to miss out on what you're saying. They're all turning their phones up as we speak right now.
Okay. Is that a little bit better?
That is a little bit better. That's perfect. Thank you, girl.
So I am in southwestern Pennsylvania. I'm about an hour south of Pittsburgh.
An hour south of Pittsburgh. All right. And you've had Amy Murray Designs for how long? You haven't been doing this a ton of time, but girl, you're killing it.
Yeah. I think I'm going on 4 years. So it's longer than what everybody thinks, but I've just kind of like exploded onto the marketplace this year. So.
Yeah, and you are currently even coaching other people on painting and painting businesses, which is super exciting. And so what do you mostly paint? I think it's mostly furniture, but I just want to confirm that I'm right, Amy.
Yeah, I do mostly furniture. I do get asked to do kitchens, but I do them selectively.
Okay.
So it really depends on the color and the finish that they're looking for.
Because you prefer to spray everything, don't you?
I do spray, and then I also use powder glaze. So if somebody's not interested in glazing, I'm probably not going to be interested in the job.
Yeah. This is so fun that so many of you have said you're very selective about who you take for clients. And I love that, because I can remember a time when I would just take like any clients out of thinking that we needed the money and, and just said yes to everything. So I love it that so many of you are not doing that. That makes my heart super excited. So what colors are you seeing where you're at, and what are you thinking, Amy, is going to be hot for 2018? What are people requesting of you?
Well, so I'm seeing a lot of like color combinations that you wouldn't normally think of. So for example, I do a lot of gauntlet gray.
Okay.
Williams with brown powder glaze. And you would think in your mind that it doesn't work.
That it doesn't go gray and brown together. Yeah.
Right. It's one of the most stunning finishes that I do.
I love it. And you do that mostly on furniture.
Yes. Yeah. Tables. It looks beautiful on tables and buffets and chairs. Yeah.
Awesome. And so so grays and browns together are the color you're seeing requested a lot. How about techniques? Are there certain techniques that people have been requesting more of from you?
Well, I mean, because glazing is kind of my thing, that's what everybody for. So
that's what everybody hires you for.
Yeah, I jokingly say if somebody comes to me and they want me to paint something one color, it's like asking Emerald Lagasse to make you a grilled cheese sandwich. Like, it just doesn't work.
I love that.
Yeah.
and then look at, and Amy's just done talking. She's like, and there's that. That's what it is. No, but what's fascinating about you, Amy, is you know what you're good at, and you know what you enjoy, and you know what your specialty is, and you're just staying in your lane. And so I think that's absolutely fabulous. And so you don't do any faux finishing or wall textures, do you?
No, I mean, I have, but I don't do it for other people. No.
Right. Gotcha. Awesome. Well, girl, I love what you're doing. I love the whole powder glazing phenom that you have created on the internet. And for people who are like, I don't know what powder glazing is. Okay. So we'll have all of that information in the Paint Trends PDF that's going to be here in the show notes and that you can get emailed to you. And Amy was an instructor, one of my first instructors in Paint Finish of the Month, and people just went goo goo gaga over powder glazing, and it's fascinating. And so, so she's a great one to be following if you need to know how to spray, or if the idea of powder glazing like get your blood rushing, like I know it does for a lot of people. So Amy, thank you so much for being here. You're a gem, and I adore watching what you're doing, and we need to chat more about that desk that I cannot wait to get into a blue color with. So we'll have a whole blue conversation at some point, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bless you, girl. All right, that was Amy Murray from Amy Murray Designs, and we've got two more that I've got here for you today. I'm telling you, I brought you the absolute best on this podcast. So next up is Quita Allen, and Quita owns All Shabbed Out. And if you have a Facebook page and you've been on Facebook for more than 10 minutes, you've probably seen one of her pieces of furniture pop out. She has a very distinct style. She's super great at staging, and so we're going to chat with her next. Quita, honey, are you there with us?
I'm here, Jen. How are
Awesome.
you, baby?
I am so good and so super excited to talk to you. Will you tell people the name of your business and where you're located and what it is that you do?
Of course. My name is Quita Allen, and my company, All Shabbed Out, is located in an 1879 little warehouse here in Denison, Texas. And I guess I specialize in, I don't really know. It's just my way. I don't really know what the name of it is.
Yeah, but you specialize in furniture, correct?
I do.
I don't see you do anything else.
Well, I do cabinets, actually.
Okay.
I do a lot of islands these days, and cabinets as well. But yes, furniture is my main thing, and canvas art as well.
Well, and I think it's because you can't really, or most people are not going to be like super daring or, super adventurous on their cabinets, but they will let you do kind of have your way with their island. Am I right? Like, because it seems like a little less of a commitment in terms of,
It is.
Yeah. And so real quick, is Denison, Texas at all close to Kendra and Ashley?
Actually, no.
Okay.
No, and I'll just say this, Kendra and Ashley are probably 5 or 6 hours from me, so don't try to set us up with all that work 80 hours away, Mama. Unless it's $1.3 million.
I know. Doesn't that just crazy? I know. It's just crazy.
I'm so proud for them. I hope they get it.
Yeah. So, Quita, do you have a name for your style?
No. I wish that I did, but honestly, it's truly comes from everything inside of me. I get a piece of furniture, I basically fall in love with it. It may be terribly unattractive or have some injuries or things like that, and I really just take them all in, and I sit down with that piece of furniture, and I could work it for one day, or I can work it for an entire 10 days until I get this beautiful piece of art. And basically what I always say is that I am just blurring the lines between furniture and art. That's all I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. And so, when I see a piece of your furniture, usually to me, first of all, your staging is on point. I mean, girl, come on now. Your staging is great. And your finishes usually look a little more on the drier, not shiny side, which I love. It's so funny because I'll look at a piece of lacquered furniture and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I want that all over my house. And then I'll look at a piece of drier, looking very colorful stuff. Matte, thank you for that. I've been in the industry for a minute.
Dryer.
I'm using the word dryer. So anyway, I'll look at that. I'll be like, oh, I love that too. And so, but your furniture definitely has a look. And so tell me kind of what a lot of your clients were asking for at the end of this year and going into 2018. What are you seeing most requested? Are there color palettes or techniques that you're seeing requested more than others?
Color for me always. I actually, kind of with all the other girls out there, that I am very fortunate this year that I pretty much have said I will do white, but it has to be in my style, in my technique. I have to have creative freedom with the white.
Yeah, so you have to do a dryer technique.
Well, actually, I do a lot of gloss.
Do you?
Yes, and you know what, I'm really kind of on both ends. So I can do high gloss finish, I can do the metallic, I can do soft, And then I do this finish of mine that I just truly need a name for. I just don't have one. But I guess Quita style. I don't know.
Okay.
But I really try to work with the clients to create a piece that they would maybe put into their home or their room or office and actually build that space around that statement piece.
I love that.
Yes. So that's truly where I see my business going. And it's color, technique, a lot of hand painting. Spraying is fantastic. I am envious of everyone who can spray beautifully. I'm envious of every artist that can spray so clean. Oh, Kayla, that girl is amazing. And Amy Murray, just look highly up to them because that I can't do it.
Me neither. I'm like a big chicken when it comes to spraying.
I spray. I know how to spray. I do cabinets and things like that, but I'm not completely comfortable with it. I guess it's just not my way of expressing myself. And we're lucky to have those women out there doing that for us because,
Absolutely. We just send all the requests for it their direction. So that's awesome. So what do you feel like people have finally quit asking you for and you're like, oh, thank you, Lord, because I did not want to do that technique or that color again? Is there anything in particular you're glad to see go?
They want me to get rid of the white glazed cabinets. They're like, get rid of it. I don't want it. It looks dirty. I hate it. Get rid of it. And that's really where I get in there and I go, let's do some, even if it's a blue, do some color. I know, like do white on the top, blue on the bottom on your cabinets. Let's, bring in the brightness in both areas, but richness in the bottom. Just get away from this dirty wash color. I don't have to do it anymore. It's dirty white is not, people hate it here.
It's so funny. Like I can just hear it even changed in your voice, your tone of voice even changed, like dirty white. I am just so glad it's out of here. So yeah. And that's funny because we have so many glazed kitchen cabinets in Kansas City, like just everywhere. And people are really kind of going more towards what Ashley and Kendra were talking about with just the inking, just the glaze in the cracks instead of all over.
That's hard. Yeah. So I'm getting asked to do a lot of faux finishing in new construction. They're not faux finishing. I would say my style on these huge homes with their islands. They're painting stark white, beautiful white cabinets, and then I come in and I do this art piece in the middle of their kitchen. So that's what I see happening for me in 2018 is islands.
I love it, girl. Well, I will be following along. I'm a huge, huge fan. So thank you so much for being there. Bless you, girl. And you're a paint finish of the month instructor this month. So
yes, on the 15th. On the 15th, I'm so excited. Y'all are going to be.
We're excited to have you, girlfriend. So
all right.
Bless you, Quita.
Bye.
Anybody else notice a trend that I've had a really hard time pronouncing several names on this podcast today? I don't know what it is with us artist people, but there's a lot of names that are hard to pronounce. So my last guest, and definitely not the least, is Jennifer Ferguson, who has been in the painting industry for as long as I can remember. And I've been here for a second or two. And so, Jen, are you here, sweetie?
I sure am.
It was so great to get to meet you in Huntsville in November because I have been a huge fan of Jennifer and all she's done in the painting industry for almost 2 decades. Is it okay to say that?
Yeah, I'm almost at 30 years.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, girl. Isn't that crazy? It kind of flies by though. And then now your family's working with you and so you've got like this whole painting dynasty going with like, your family getting into the business as well. And so before we get any further, will you tell people where you're at? Because I think you live kind of in paradise too over there on the West Coast and the name of your business and what it is you mostly do.
Well, the name of the business is Artistic Painting Studio, and I'm privileged to be living in Huntington Beach, California. Yeah. Now, I spent 47 years in Fresno, California, so I feel very blessed to be here. It took me a long time to get to the beach.
Well, you know what? I don't know the difference between where you were and where you are because all I hear is California, which in my head is probably close to Texas and just sounds like sunshine all the time. But Huntington Beach sounds glorious. And so at this point, tell us what you're mostly doing in your business because you're a little different than some of the other ladies that we highlighted here on the call today.
Yeah, I've had my 30 years of painting, everything from stenciling, furniture, walls. Oh gosh. I think Kari was the first one to talk about the grapes. And it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot about the broke away wall.
Isn't that a flashback? Yeah. Did you rag roll anything? We used to rag roll.
Jen?
I was never much into the rag rolling, but yeah, tons of different faux finishing. And oh boy, there was some bad faux in the 80s. Okay.
That is the truth. Thank you, Lord, that it's gone. And so right now then, you've introduced another segment to your business, which is you have the patterned rollers that I love using, like the crocodile rollers. And is this the kind of the direction your business has taken a swing towards, like more kind of gotten away from the painting so much to the roller piece of it, to giving those, or not giving those, but selling those to furniture painters?
It's just, I think the evolving of everybody's business, because I'm basically retiring from the decorative painting, which I know you did this year. And after every job, I say I'm retiring. So I've retired a lot over the last couple of years. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
But the rollers were something I discovered probably about 4 years or so ago, and just fell in love with them and how creative you can be. I mean, they can go through so many different textures and products and mediums. And I mean, it's just another tool to add. So they're just fun to work with. And I'm just trying to get them in everybody's hands, and let them have fun with them. So.
Well, it's funny because we worked on a very, very large job, not the size quite of what Kendra and Ashley had, but a very big job last summer. And we had some crocodile finishes to do in this house. And so in one room, we used a crocodile stencil. In another room, we used your mock croc roller. And girlfriend, I'm telling you, it took us like 4 days to do the room with the stencil. And it took us 1 day to do another room, same size, with your roller. And at that point, I'm like, she's a stinking genius to be selling these things, because it just makes life so much easier. And I know you can use them on furniture, and so there's a lot you can do with them. So so I know your lane right now is kind of more furniture and using, the rollers on furniture and things, but what colors are you seeing that you think is going to be super popular this year, Jen?
Well, I hate to be on the bandwagon, but, my colors that I'm really seeing for this year are the navy blues and, that gold. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing the gold as well?
Doing the gold as well. Okay. So I kind of like the combination of the navy and the gold together, but I'm seeing that. But I'm a big, big turquoise teal fan, so I'll never leave that family.
Right. I know we've got all the praise hands going here, Deanna and I. That's awesome. And so in terms of techniques that you're seeing a lot of where you guys are at, are people doing a lot of stenciling, Jennifer, out there where you're at in Huntington Beach, or are you seeing them not doing so many textures, or what are kind of some of the techniques in the painting industry you're seeing that people are doing more of?
It's just a little bit of absolutely everything here. I don't think there's just one thing. I mean, I have worked for people over the last couple of years where I did a Tuscan finish to, definitely very modern, lots of metallics, lots of metallic plasters. I actually started a job site yesterday. Again, this is my last job site. Okay.
Right. I believe you.
And again, it's metallic plaster. So, tons and tons of square footage, metallic plaster.
Yeah, I love the metallics. I totally love it. So tell us what finishes or what colors or what techniques are you so glad nobody's asking you for anymore? Like, what are you so glad is out the door? I know we already talked about the broken brick and the grapes and the vines. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, luckily, nobody's really asked me for anything lately that I just absolutely hate it, other than the fact when they say they want a ceiling done. I can't believe the other girls do those ceilings. Right? No way. And
I know. They're like super women or something, because literally every time we would do a ceiling, I would feel like I needed to go to the chiropractor or get a massage. And I kept thinking, I am too old for this.
Yeah, I'm definitely too old for it. The last ceiling made me nauseated. It was so bad.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad nobody's asking you for those then anymore as well. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here on the podcast with me today. And we'll have all the information on the PDF that people can go find out how to check into your rollers. And I think you've got a painting video there for them as well. So, thank you, Jennifer, for being here. We appreciate
thank you. Appreciate
all right.
you.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this podcast today. And I just want to thank you guys for listening in. And I hope that this was fun for you. And if you maybe know of someone who's trying to get into the furniture painting or the decorative painting industry, forward this podcast over to them, because I think there was so much valuable information, not only in terms of colors and techniques, but just what's working for different artists and what's not. And I love how so many of them are just staying in their lane and sticking with the things that they love, and not selling out for what's trendy, but being really true to themselves. And I think that's always so important. So make sure you go over to www.themagicbrushinc.com/paint trends, and you can download the reports, which will highlight what each of these talented painters were talking about in terms of what's popular for this year. And we'll have a link to each of their websites, a link to each of their Facebook pages, and a link to a painting video from each of them that I know will be a blessing for you to add to your home or to your portfolio. So go check that out. And we just appreciate you listening to the podcast so much. If you get a chance, we'd love it if you hopped on over to iTunes and you could give us a review there. And until next week, I hope that you will all stay creative. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Again, I want to thank Antique Farmhouse, our podcast sponsor for today. This is where you can go to get all of your farmhouse decor online. Visit antiquefarmhouse.com. Sign up for their emails. You'll get those delivered directly to your inbox every day. Incredible industrial decor, farmhouse decor, shabby chic, and vintage reproductions. antiquefarmhouse.com.